Howdy, stranger.
Don't say howdy, stranger, to me.
You didn't do the fourth.
Thank God. It sucked. Yeah, it sucked.
And we're back.
Boo, boo, boo.
Yes,
Welcome
we're back.
Boo, 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 to
Yes,
the
we're
show.
back with me
And
you.
me and you.
Hello, everyone. It's Ethan McKinley. It's the 2-minute Terminator. We are now, in fact, we've come this far.
Clear your throat, babe.
Hello.
There you go.
I've still got a frog in my throat. Yes, everyone. Hello. Welcome. I'm Ethan McKinley. This is the 2-minute Terminator, where we break down and dismantle the Terminator films 2 minutes at a time.
Eat my girl.
That's Ellie Fitzgerald, my co-host, who's
Hi.
been back into service. We're in fact doing now Terminator Salvation. This is the 4th season of the show. Did you ever think you'd get this far, Ellie?
Yes.
We're a year and a quarter into this now.
Yeah, I knew we'd get this far.
There we go.
Oh, stolen from the original.
Yeah, basically.
I have an issue with this first 2 minutes.
Oh dear. Well, let's go on, do it.
It's misleading because it makes the film look like it actually could be quite good.
Okay, can I just shock you?
Yeah.
I don't know. I went back and forth on this because I watched this. Well, we both did before we started watching kind of Terminator 3.
We did, yeah. We
And I
watched
was
this
like,
a lot longer.
Terminator 3 is better. I personally think they're both bad, but I think
This one is the
maybe
worst.
this is better. So this might be better.
From memory, this was worse
Why?
for me.
Because Arnold's not in it.
Yeah. Terminator has to have Arnold in it, dude.
But 3 didn't make a lot of sense.
No, but at least it had Arnold Schwarzenegger.
And it
in
was like a fucking comedy. Sorry, swear.
Ethan. That was his balls. Yeah, so I preferred 3 because it's got Arnie in it. It's still kind of following the same... Even though it's a different timeline, it's still kind of following that. Terminator Salvation just... I feel like, I don't know, it just... I couldn't connect to it on any level. It frustrated me more than most films. You know the scene that frustrates me the most?
The getting undressed one.
Yeah. The way she looks behind to be like, oh, what are you doing? Watching me get naked and washing myself in dirty pond water in the middle of the desert and there's nothing else to look at and you're pretty decent looking babe. Probably hasn't seen a woman in a long time.
Well, that
How
brings...
dare he watch me watch myself? What are you laughing at?
I'm going to try and get the box office grosses before we actually begin. This is, in fact, Terminator Salvation, the 4th film in the franchise. It was meant to be, I think, released in 2001. So it's going to come out in 2001, I think, or it's going to come out in conjunction as part of a new trilogy, which is what they've kind of tried to do with the new Terminator films, Terminator Genesis, and whatever the next film from that is, which I think is constantly in this limbo of being cancelled, and Arnie going, no, it's definitely on. Trust me.
Did they ask Arnie to do this film?
I don't think they did.
Okay.
I think the idea was Terminator 3 would have been the first film of a trilogy, and then Salvation would have been the second film.
I just feel like this should be a different side story.
Well, it kind of is, because I think the idea was they were going to start, I think, a new trilogy. So you would have had Terminator 3, and I think this would have been... it was either this was going to come first in 2001, then you were going to have Terminator 3, and they were going to start a completely new trilogy, leaving James Cameron's Terminator behind, as opposed to continuing calling Terminator 3 Terminator 3. They were either going to have this first or Terminator 3, and then this would have been like the bridging film to the final, James Cameron looking like Future War versus Skynet, etc., with loads of Arnies in and things. But that didn't happen.
I wonder if there's any kind of documentation, documentary where James Cameron's talking about Terminator Salvation and what his thoughts are on it.
Well, I don't know. I'm not sure what to make of his opinion anyway, because he said the natural continuation, the best sequel to his film, which I guess it is, on paper, which was Terminator Genesis, wasn't that great. I don't know. I can only imagine people stuffing dollar bills in his pocket when he said that.
I thought, well, we already kind of agreed that it was James Cameron on acid in his weird Lawrence Llewellyn Bowen paisley shirt.
I just don't know why he said that. Maybe he was so disappointed with...
I didn't think Genesis was that bad.
Wasn't that
It was
bad?
alright.
Wasn't that bad? Had some nice ideas. The guy playing Kyle Reese was bad. Not that he's bad, but he was just miscasting, and it's kind of like... Yeah.
Oh, God.
He was only vaguely redeemed himself with the forthcoming Captain Boomerang and Suicide Squad.
Did we actually get to see Sarah Connor's Chebs in that film? Or was it just a silhouette?
You see them in silhouette.
Oh.
But when she stands in front of him, he's obviously
That's rubbish.
He's a 6-footer, and she's obviously as big as you, so she's standing like at waist height. She's around that, yeah.
Blimey.
If
you're my height, you can't be chubby or loose, man. It just looks so bad.
Oh dear.
You can't.
It's
the loose arms and stuff like that. If you're small, you have to be small and tight. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's look at some box office results. So, Terminator Salvation came out in 2009. It has a budget of allegedly, according to Box Office Mojo, 200 million. Now, its domestic gross was 125 million, so that's not really that great. And its foreign was 245. So it did 371. But
is that better or worse than 3?
Well, God, if you want to crunch the numbers and
let's
go back.
Let's crunch the numbers.
Okay, let's have a look.
Because from everyone that I've spoken to, either in the geek world or people that just love Terminator, there's always this big debate of what is worse, 3 or 4. So it'd be actually interesting to see, monetary-wise, what did better.
Rise of the Machines, Terminator 3, that was a 2003 film. So this is 6 years before Terminator Salvation, and its budget is around, according to Box Office Mojo, 200 million.
So that's the same as 4?
Well, it did domestically, which is in America, it did 125 million. Right, Terminator Salvation did 125 million. Terminator 3... did 150 million, so it did 25 million more. Its foreign gross was 283, but this was, I guess it's better in a sense because it's 6 years before, so inflation.
What made the most money?
Terminator 3. Its global box office, including domestic America and foreign, which means Europe, Asia, and all the other countries, Australia, was 433.371 million. Terminator Salvation's gross worldwide, that's inclusive of everyone, was 371 million, $353,000.
Now, do you reckon that 3 made more money because obviously it had the pull for Arnold Schwarzenegger in it? Do you reckon more people would have gone to see that because it had Arnie in it?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Oh no, he's still a big box office draw. You always have to bear in mind, in 2003 he went into office as the governor of California, so that's another reason.
Did you see either of these at the cinema?
Did I see 3? I'm going to say yes, I saw 3 at the cinema. I don't know where or how.
I saw 3 at the cinema.
I saw 4 at the cinema because I think it's the first movie at the cinema I saw with... Actually, no, it's a lie. That was Avatar. I saw it at the Ritzy Cinema in Brixton. Probably not the best presentation of it, but not that that actually affects anything. But yeah, Terminator Salvation is I guess, considered a box office flop. You could also argue that Terminator 3 would be a box office flop, because every time you see a film, whatever it grosses, you have to bear in mind whatever they spend on the budget, you can double that because that covers advertising too. So they're probably going to spend at least 100 million on advertising, probably 200 million, probably this production budget almost of the entire film on advertising the frickin' thing. So maybe the profit turnaround for Terminator 3 would not be that good compared to when you actually factor into like advertising and marketing and stuff.
Yeah.
Especially so when you've got Terminator Salvation, that would be massively considered a flop.
How that didn't go straight to DVD, I don't know.
Why?
Because it's rubbish.
It's not a bad film in terms of the way it's put together. It's got an all-star cast of sorts. It's directed by McG, that everyone kind of lambasts and says he's rubbish. And he's kind of been in director jail since 2009. McGee's real name is Joseph McGinty Nicol, but he calls himself McG.
McGinty! Sounds like a leprechaun.
He's done stuff like The OC and lots of TV work, really, for the last few years.
Oh, God,
sadly.
The OC.
But he did Charlie's Angels 1 and 2, I'm going to say. Let's director, here we go.
The Babysitter.
Yeah, The Babysitter.
Lethal Weapon.
Yes, the TV series, Ellie.
Ah.
It's announced, by the way, so they've not made it yet. So I'm interested to see that. 3 Days to Kill, which is the Kevin Costner film. So he's kind of in direct to jail, basically. If your film fails at the box office, you kind of end up being pushed into television, or you don't get to make a film for years.
Views on Kevin Costner.
It depends on the film. I
Dances with Wolves.
I hated him as a kid because I could never fathom what anyone saw in him.
Yeah.
He just seemed very boring. And if you've grown up on things like Indiana Jones and things, Kevin Costner was a bit of a wet blanket.
Yeah. What have I
So,
seen in? Dances with Wolves, The Bodyguard.
He's good in Dances with Wolves. He's good in everything. He's a good actor. And I think looking back now, I understand why he was a star, because he represents this kind of idealized American everyman. He's a bit like James Stewart, but the modern day version, kind of.
I love James Stewart.
No, well, okay. You know what? I'm going to take that back.
And he was a hero. He fought in the war.
Tom Hanks is the modern day version of James Stewart, isn't he?
Yeah.
Kevin Costner's like the action version of that.
And Bill Murray's like a much cooler version.
Of who?
Tom Hanks.
Is he?
Kind of.
Okay.
He's like one of those really well loved, but Bill Murray like mucks in with the plebs. You know, you'll walk into a bar and just sit down and have a drink with you and just start fucking shit up. He's great. Love Bill Murray.
Allegedly, or was that just marketing?
No, there's so many different things on the internet. Bill Murray's a dude.
So anyway, yeah.
Don't die, Bill. We love you.
Terminator Salvation was a box office flop, I suppose. Its opening weekend was $51 million, which I guess is good.
$1 million.
But then again, maybe not.
So how many times have you seen Salvation?
Probably about 4 times. I've seen it once with you. I've seen it once going through it to log all the minutes for this stuff, and then I watched it again to log all the minutes for this stuff, because we know famously about 3 months ago I actually
lost all the notes. Oh no, you wiped your computer.
Wiped my computer along with all the notes I made for this.
You'd saved 3 but not 4. Wow, I bet that was arduous.
Which reminds me, when we get to Terminator Genesis, I've logged all the cock-ups, but I've not logged... No, I've logged the trivia, but not the cock-ups. Okay. So I'm going to add cock-ups. So basically, we're actually going from minutes 00 to the 2-minute factor. It opens with the Warner Brothers sign looking a bit Matrixy, and it ends with Marcus Wright, played by, I guess, the pre-Jai Courtney.
They do look quite similar, actually.
Sam Worthington, who's a kind of...
Isn't he the guy in Avatar?
He's the guy from Avatar.
Yeah.
And he's in another Arnold Schwarzenegger project, which is Sabotage, where they're kind of these DEA agents. But a bit like Jai Courtney, we're kind of told to like this person. They keep putting him in gigantic film projects.
But he's got no talent. He's got no presence.
It's not that he's got no talent, but he doesn't have presence, and he doesn't have the kind of charisma that perhaps, say, a Tom Cruise would have. Tom Cruise, for all his faults, is a fantastic movie star.
That's the whole point of being an actor.
Well, yeah, but I think he's a bit like Val Kilmer in the sense, this is Sam Worthington we're talking about now. He's kind of like, he's someone who excels when he's not front and center. So he's more of a kind of character actor that gets kind of shoved into being a leading man by obviously the business or agents or producers and things, going, this is your guy, everyone, but go and see this film. And he's in Avatar, of course, and they start shoving him into things. Terminator Salvation he's in, of course. There's nothing wrong with him as an actor. He's actually quite good. And I've found, like Val Kilmer, whenever he's the lead in a film, not that he's bad, but he just doesn't quite have that quality that makes him a star.
Mm.
Whereas if you put Val Kilmer as the co-lead, or you put him behind the lead as kind of a supporting actor or a character actor, he does really well. So in all the films when he's not the star, Sam Worthington's actually really good. But in this and other things, he just doesn't quite have that leading man.
So where do you fall into that category, considering Marco said that he couldn't put all of your bits in the Arthur and Merlin film because you were too good looking,
allegedly,
and your presence was too strong.
You
overpowered the two main actors.
Half of me still thinks that was bollocks, just to preserve my feelings.
Would you ever actually admit that though, if it wasn't true?
Yeah. We all bullshit people.
Obviously, you and Marco get on very well, but it's not like you're bosom buddies. I mean, would he not just be, well, yeah, we didn't put it in because of X, Y, and Z? It wouldn't. I don't know.
No, but you could implant
I can't see him. I
into
can't see Marco being a bullshitter.
No, not at all. But he's kind of like a very nice, down to earth guy, and not meek, but he's kind of like very polite and pleasant. I couldn't see him going, fucking hell, get that.
And I guess Arthur and Merlin, maybe they were pushing Stefan and
yeah.
And who's the other guy?
Kirk.
They were obviously trying to push those guys.
That's just what I was told. I don't know if it's true or not. I think it's probably not true. It's a kind of nice.
The opening
thing.
scene, babe, was pretty epic, and the running.
Yeah, and
you looked amazing. You really did.
Kind
it looked like something out of Lord of the Rings. It was so good.
The only person that got.
And I didn't know that was when you were coming in. I just saw this sword, and then all of a sudden it panned out.
Panned up the sword. You're like,
oh my god,
it's Ethan, and he's got the better of the king.
I know.
No one's beat Arthur until this. So yeah, if I'm in the sequel,
come on, Marco.
put me in the give me another series, you shit.
Yeah, give another series, you swine. Yeah,
Tony
give me another
has.
series, you shit.
Come on, Tony has.
Smell my cheese. It's got walnuts in it.
So anyway, this was the first Terminator film, Ellie, to receive a PG-13 rating. All the previous films, including 3, according to this.
What was 3? Was it 12?
I think here it was either a 12. I think it was a 15 here. I don't know
Do
when
they
the 12
even have
certificate.
15 anymore? I think 15's been.
No, we have.
Yeah.
Yes, we do. We have PG in this country. America, you've got PG-13, which means if you're under 13, you can go in, but you need to be accompanied by an adult parent or guardian. And then you've got R, and I think R, right?
R's
NC-17. I'm not sure which is worse in America.
Rated R is like really bad, isn't it?
R's restricted. No, I think R's actually okay, and NC-17 is the one that's really bad.
What's really bad in our country?
I don't. In our country,
X-rated.
in the 70s, it was
Snuff.
an X. Because in the 70s, you didn't have an 18, you had an X. So, like, Alien was an X.
Oh, okay, yeah. I can understand that.
1979.
Alien is scary, man.
I don't think it is.
I do.
Really?
But I think I still see it through the eyes of a child. Well, I remember when I first saw that. That and Halloween, literally, I had nightmares, kept me up at night. Halloween, especially, every time that my dad, because I'd be like, ugh, because I had such a vivid imagination, and I was quite scared as a kid because we were always out in the dark, and it was always horror stories and stories about ghosts and goblins and things like that. And my dad literally had to sit up with me after I'd seen Halloween. And every time he'd shut my bedroom door, I would just see Michael Myers' mask. Just his head would just pop in and stare at me. It was absolutely terrifying.
Well, that's not weird.
That and Frankenstein's monster. that really messed me up as a kid.
Yeah, apparently this is the first Terminator film to get a PG-13 rating. Weirdly, it did worse at the box office. I assume ultimately a film company tries to get the lowest rating possible for its film so that most people can see it.
Large target audience.
Although Deadpool has made history in a sense that it's an R-rated movie because it's got swearing and sex and pegging in it. But it's done like 800 or so million worldwide, beating, strangely, the bigger budgeted and bigger marketed Batman v Superman.
Yeah, but
because
but that was a bit naff, wasn't it? And
well,
Deadpool's awesome.
It's word of mouth. I think people I think what you need really for marketing is word of mouth. So your film opens big on the first week, and then usually with box office there's a massive drop off because no one goes. People go, it's a shit film, so people go, I'll catch it on DVD or cable or something. Obviously, Deadpool's got really good word of mouth, so people have seen it. Batman versus Superman has got bad word of mouth because it's a bit of a mess. And
is Deadpool still in the cinema?
No, I don't think it is. You know what? It probably is, but it's only on like 1 or 2 showings a week at a weekend, maybe.
Yeah, I'd quite like to see it in the cinema actually.
Well, we didn't.
I know. I might just go. I might start doing what you do. Just go to cinema by myself.
I love going by myself.
I
love going to the movies by myself.
Never done it. Might do.
Oh, it's great.
I've a couple of times I've been to the movies just me and my dad.
You don't have access to it where you live, but like even at that Odeon, you can pay like £17 a month. You can see as many films as you want.
Really?
But UGC do it as well. It's $17.99 a month, unlimited. There's no like list restrictions.
Come on, Dorking Halls.
Yeah, they won't do it.
Get some kind of membership.
They're not part of the chain, I don't think, or if they are, that doesn't say.
It's a great cinema, though.
Anyway, each Terminator film, Ellie, they're all. I think the biggest mess as well with the series, as we get into it, and as we've passed the halfway mark now. Each film,
the Terminators get worse.
They do get worse. No, they don't, because 2 is amazing. But after 2, because they're made by the anchor that is James Cameron, the originator of this idea. Don't tell that to Harlan Ellison, who successfully sued him for the Demon with the Glass Hand and City on the Edge of Tomorrow. I think, I don't know, it was an undisclosed amount.
Ooh, that means it was a lot.
But Hemdale, through Orion, made the first Terminator film. Terminator 2 was made by Carolco and Tri-Star, which was owned by Columbia. But, again, that's fine, because those two, obviously, the person holding that together was James Cameron. After that, things go awry, because Terminator 3 was produced by C2 Pictures, which was a subsidiary, or like the rising phoenix light from the flames when Carolco went bust. Andrew Wagner
Hey, he's never far away.
produced that film. So they do Carolco. They did all the Rambo films and stuff. That was it was distributed through Warner Brothers for its domestic release. That's in America, and Columbia Pictures did the international release, which is all over the world. Terminator Salvation, the thing we're talking about, was produced by the Halcyon Company, and distributed by both Warner Brothers domestic and Columbia internationally. So the production companies that actually make the films are all bloody different, and the people kind of are different after the Terminator 3. Terminator Salvation and Terminator Genesis. Terminator Genesis was made by Skydance and Paramount. So that's another different company that made them. And I think that's wherein lies the problem, because it keeps...
Is Studio C Anal anywhere near this film?
No, this
God.
will be... I don't know, it might be, because it's Columbia,
How are we gonna get over... I'll rephrase that. How are you gonna get over the whole copyright?
The copyright for...
Oh, you've got that text now that you're going to have to copy into...
No, the copyright for Terminator 3, I think, is almost pretty much solved, because I spoke to the people and they've released 3. 2's okay again.
So what was the issue?
The issue now is with Terminator 1, which is owned by MGM, who are even now still blocking it. I've got a letter from their copywriters. I'm going to read that after this show. I'm going to find out what's up. There's actually less to be offended by in the first ones we did. Because even with this, if anyone can hear playing in the background, there's music from the film playing. But as it should be with anything, we're not using the whole film. We're not posting the whole film. Even when there's music playing or a scene, we're talking over it, so you can't really listen to or see or enjoy the scene.
You can't get whole films on YouTube then?
Well, you don't. People do block them, and people just keep reposting them and stuff.
Whenever I want to watch Labyrinth, there is before I had a proper computer and stuff like that, I used to watch Labyrinth on YouTube all the time, but the way they think they got around it is they put it in like some Spanish spelling. But it was really good quality. I used to
but it's not just that. The bots,
Same with
the
Rocky
automatic detectors that like see visual information. I don't know. I think because it's also Terminator, and it's kind of like a thing that's happening right now, and people are interested in still talking about it, even though they don't listen to the show. It's still a current viable property. They're still making films, allegedly, according to Arnold. So I don't know. Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows? The shadow knows.
We need to get Joe on the show as well.
Yes.
We should do that.
Yes. No ulterior motives there. I've got one cock up before the we
cock up.
Bing. Hey, we're back. The opening text panel. The word judgment is correctly spelled in American English. The spelling judgment in this is the British spelling. So judgment. Okay, yeah, I prefer our spelling.
Yeah, totally.
Judgment.
The director,
G.
he looked quite Scottish. Maybe that's why it's spelt the British way.
No, he's from Michigan, USA. Joseph McGinty Nickel, or McG. He was born in August.
Look at him, he's a Celt.
1968. How do you know?
Look at him, dude. I'm so good with this stuff. Do not test me. He's a Celt. McGinty. Come on, dude.
He got famous basically doing Cypress Hill videos, basically, and Korn videos.
Wow.
So he does music videos. He did Charlie's Angels.
And Offspring.
And did he do Charlie's Angels? Yeah, he did Charlie's Angels too. And that was it, really.
Stick to music videos, dude.
So I don't think he's a bad director. I just think he's just been unlucky in the sense in his film work that the films haven't done that well.
Dude, he's definitely a Celt.
Is he?
Yeah.
How do you know?
Oh, I recognise her. She's been in quite a few different films. Nicolas Cage. Just look at him.
Cage.
He's got like the colouring in the skin, the ginger beard, the pale eyes.
The listeners want to know, Ellie, you're actually excited about doing another season of Terminator?
I am. I actually am. I genuinely missed it. I mean, there was a time when obviously
I think there'll be more hate later on this, so
everything
it
that
might
was
be actually
going
more
down,
entertaining.
you know, I had to move and the job and everything, and I think there was so much going on at the time, and I was just like, I can't mentally commit to this, because even though I'm pretty good with dealing with stuff, there was just lots going on, and when I wasn't dealing with that, I was out with my mates and I was just like, ugh, I just don't want to have any responsibility or anything like that. Bleh. But then obviously as time's gone on, I'm like, oh, I really miss it. So yeah, it was actually me that was just like, let's do this. And you're like, yeah, you want to do the show now, do you? Yeah. What?
Well, there you go, folks. We are back. It was episode 1 of Terminator Salvation.
It was.
There will be stuff happening in the next clip, so we'll have lots to talk about. No,
People will
don't be
talk.
afraid to help yourself to punch and cookies.
Oh. Anyway, I've been Ethan McKinley.
I've been John Nichols. I've been James Spalding. I've been Josh from Twitter. Hello, boys. We're back.
Hello, boys.
3 more months of hell coming up.
Yeah. Have some stuff.